Bob Innes. I've been at Peabody since 1971, so that's and HOD since '82. And originally, it was just an undergraduate program that I invented. So I was director of that program until we became a department, and then have been in it. So I've been forever, I guess, in HOD. I've been interested in early childhood education, learning in general. So most of my research is about some aspect of learning. I did do some daycare and family day home research in the '70s. That was kind of a hot topic here. I've also been involved in needs assessment. I used to be the needs assessment person for the United Way campaign. I've always been a kind of disciple of John Dewey, and so I've done several things written about John Dewey philosophically and the application of John Dewey to education all the way from preschool to graduate school. Yeah, I was approached by some of the people that were writing different chapters with the idea that since I'd kind of provided the philosophical foundation for the original program, and that had held up through the years as a central piece of HOD on all different levels, that maybe I would put together a chapter that had picked out some important philosophical pieces, theoretical pieces, that they could kind of call back on in their chapters, maybe without having to explain it all. What I feel Deweyism is, at least the central feature of it, is an interest in both theory and practice, and feeling that either just theory or just practice is not useful knowledge. And so having knowledge that is both theoretical and practical is the kind of core idea, but there's, of course, lots of writing, thousands of pages about that. And Dewey actually got into, he's the main theorist in art, political science, psychology. He was the first president of the American Psychological Association. So he's in almost all the social sciences, has some theoretical connection to them. Peabody and Vanderbilt have always been community-oriented, and Peabody's saying when we were separate was making a difference. And that commitment is held up past the merger. But all the programs that we ran in Peabody for going back forever have had this kind of theory practice, reach out to the community orientation. That goes all the way back to the 20s and 30s. Payne, who one of our building is named after, was kind of a leader of that kind of reach out to the community and practical application movement of the Dewey era. I think the biggest benefit of HOD for the students is the foundation in both theory and practice. And I think we're misunderstood sometimes as being more practice-oriented than we are. And I think only now, many, many years later, are people starting to appreciate the value of what we used to call a professional focus as opposed to a vocational focus. That a broad range of skills that are not vocational by nature, but will reach across a lot of different areas. So I think, and that makes them flexible. I think that the important thing is to bring the disciplinary perspectives together by bringing people from different fields, and they typically be economics and sociology and psychology, and to provide a vehicle for conversations between those disciplines and some real support for that, because I think every interdisciplinary department finds out it's harder than they think it is. Even sociology and psychology speak somewhat different languages, and history has a different way of viewing research than psychology does. It hasn't changed very much because I'm still interested in how you make this work as a model. I used to teach 5th grade, and I was doing Dewey then. My specific focus now is focused on dialogic communication and different kinds of communication that makes it possible to bridge these boundaries between disciplines and different kinds of people and the community and the university, and doing a book on participatory democracy now. I've done a book called Reconstructing Undergraduate Education, which has to do with building programs like HOD. I think I'm kind of focused on the kind of processes of learning. And so I don't tend to think in terms of content. I tend to think in terms of improving those processes. And then the content grows out of the problems that come from the community that you're asked to solve.